Yes, I have returned from the grave. For those of you that don't know me, I am Undead Matt, and this is my macabre movie mania. I've been gone for quite a while, but I'll always return for All Hallows Eve. Every year I go over the careers of some of the most notorious killers ever put on the silver screen. Now I've done the slashers, and the hackers, and even the dream masters. But I noticed one horror icon was missing from my Halloween specials. So everyone grab your favorite doll, and let's discuss the worst to the best Child's Play movies. Number 8, Child's Play 3. So of course we gotta start with the movie that killed the franchise the first time. Like many horror icons, Chucky and the Child's Play series dies multiple times. But this is the first one to kill the franchise for a while, and I absolutely understand why. It is just the same thing as 1 and 2 again, but kinda lamer. The setting is lamer, the deaths are lamer, and it's not even as gory as the other one. So if you're coming for the gore factor, that's not even there as well. Plot of this one is Andy is now older, but in a military academy, and Chucky has returned to put his soul back into Andy. Although he found a way to put it into somebody else, it was up to Andy to stop Chucky from putting it in somebody else. But again, it's just Andy versus Chucky, and it's just not interesting, and it's just not done as well. And I can see why this killed the franchise for quite a while.
I really gotta get out of this body.
Number 7, Seed of Chucky. And now we got the movie that killed the franchise for the second time. Building off the success of Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky is the direct sequel to it, but makes everything bigger. It tries to do more comedy, tries to do more self-referential humor, and tries to have bigger, scarier deaths and expand the Chuckyverse with a child. And when I first watched this many years ago when it first came out, I really didn't care for it. But on a rewatch, I actually found a little bit of a soft spot for it. No, it's not the greatest, and no, this is not going to bring any new people to the franchise, but it is definitely serviceable, had some good kills, and had some laughs, but I can understand why it killed the franchise. It's just a little too much for your average person.
Oh, God bless the little people.
Number 6, Child's Play 2019. So every horror franchise has to have its reboot, and this one was the most recent I think I can think of. So when you make a remake of a movie, you either make it just like the first one or completely different, and you get yelled at for doing either or. So this one went the route of making it completely different, where this one has more in common with 2001: A Space Odyssey, at least the tech side of that, than it does Child's Play. But I actually applaud them for that. The plot in this one is the Buddy doll this time is actually more like the new Furby, but a factory worker in China had a bad day and turned off all the safety protocols, so now Chucky's on the rampage to kill anyone that might harm Andy or make Andy sad. And I thought that was an interesting way to go, but overall it was just sort of fine. And I think one of the biggest problems is there's no way a killer doll is going to be creepier or scarier than real life Aubrey Plaza.
A Halloween party at our house is going to be the greatest thing ever.
Someone will die.
fun.
And of murder.
Having her as the mom is like having Charlie Manson as the dad in the Brady Bunch. It just doesn't quite fit. If you're gonna have Aubrey Plaza in your horror movie, she has to be the killer. But bringing in Mark Hamill to be the new voice of Chucky was a good addition, and I was ready to be disappointed by this, but was slightly intrigued and kinda liked it in a sense, but it is not the greatest movie.
It's mine!
Number 5, Child's Play. Usually on these countdowns, the first one is usually number 1 or 2 right at the top, and I was expecting that for Child's Play as well, but upon a rewatch, Child's Play isn't as great as I remember it. Andy is just a little too precious and too much of this cute little kid. The acting is very stiff and wooden, but it is still a decent movie. The puppetry is fantastic, and Brad Dourif coming in with the voice of Chucky, them being the iconic Chucky, was great. And I think this kept it as this very scary, not knowing what's going on with the doll franchise. But upon rewatch, especially compared to the other movies following this, it's sort of a weak entry in this, which is kind of interesting for a first movie. But if you ask me, it's just not as good as people can remember.
This is the end, friend.
Number 4, Child's Play 2. Now, this one took everything that the first one set in motion and did it better. I found myself quite enjoying Child's Play 2, as it had better deaths, better characters, Andy was fleshed out more, and Chucky was fleshed out more. They used Chucky a lot more. The robotics and the puppetry in Chucky were fantastic, and this was just a great, enjoyable slasher movie. No, it doesn't set any new bars or set a new standard, but they definitely took what the first one did and just made it all better. And that's the second one in general. It's just the good version of Child's Play.
How's it hanging, Phil?
Number 3, Bride of Chucky. After many years of Child's Play being dead due to Child's Play 3 being a bit of a boring turd, Ronnie Yu comes in and revives the entire franchise, and this is the reason why it's still going today. Bride of Chucky is everything that Seed of Chucky did wrong, done right. The comedy is a correct level, the deaths are at a great level, and adding in Tiffany as his creepy bride was fantastic, and this just builds on the mythos of Chucky. And of course brought us the iconic look of Chucky with all the stitches and the cuts, and showed the wear and tear that he's been torn apart all these times. But Ronnie Yu really knows what to do. If you didn't know, he also directed Freddy vs. Jason, so he knows how to take a franchise that's been running for a while and take the best of it and make it the best version of that. And that's what Bride of Chucky is. It took the original trilogy of Child's Play and just turned it on its side, made it more of a comedy, and it all just worked fantastically. And like I said, this is why the franchise went all the way to 8 movies.
Wait. What?
Have you got a rubber?
Have I got a rubber?
Yeah.
Tiff,
What?
look at me. I'm all rubber.
Oh, that's right. Wait, I thought you were plastic.
Number 2, Cult of Chucky. So Cult of Chucky is the last in the original continuity of Child's Play. This came out in 2017 and the remake was only 2 years later. So hopefully they continue on this because Cult of Chucky was fantastic. It is a direct sequel to The Curse of Chucky and had big shoes to fill, as I'll talk about in just a moment. And I think it built on that perfectly. Using Chucky inside an insane asylum was a fantastic idea because I'm not sure if people are making up Chucky or if he is actually there or what's going on. It's hard to know who to believe because everyone's in there and has their craziness going on. Everyone has their own craziness going on. And they even add powers to Chucky in this one that actually work really well. I won't give it away what it is because it's very surprising and very interesting. But building off this continuity, this is fantastic. And I hope they continue with this even though there was a remake. And as far as I understand, they're going to, as there is a planned TV series that will build off this continuity, as well as possibly another theatrically released Chucky movie, which will be the first in this line for a while, because the last two were actually straight to DVD, which is another surprise to me that the last two were so good, even though they're straight to DVD. The Cult of Chucky is fantastic. I absolutely enjoyed it, and it only had some minor things I didn't like that kept it out of the number one spot. But let's talk about the number one spot.
A true classic never goes out of style.
Number 1, Curse of Chucky. Oh my god, The Curse of Chucky. When I first saw this when it came out, I didn't have very high expectations because of the seed of Chucky killing this franchise again, and I wasn't really expecting much, but man did it blow me away. And upon a rewatch, it still holds that standard. This is a fantastic Child's Play movie and a fantastic horror movie in general. Even if you're not into the Child's Play franchise, you can take this one as a standalone movie and you can still absolutely enjoy it. The atmosphere, the enclosed nature that this only takes place in one house, the fact that the main person he's trying to kill is in a wheelchair also helps with the fact that Chucky is at that dentist's advantage of being a doll, and it really helps. And it's just so good, so atmospheric, so creepy. They took away a lot of the comedy that Bride and Seed built in and made it more stripped down in this really creepy, gory, awesome movie with lots of twists and turns, and I absolutely love it. And that's why it's my number 1 Child's Play movie. Now for some boys and girls, getting a doll is one of the most treasured memories. Unfortunately for Andy, his was a little cursed. But don't worry, what was that? You want to kill me? You can't kill me, you're just...